We made it, guys. It is Friday. This has been a weird week. Has anybody else had a weird week? I don't know if it's with the Super Bowl on Sunday, Valentine's on Tuesday. I don't know what it is. Weird week. Hello, Bob. How are you, Bob? Hello, La. Hillbilly Tech made it in. Just me said yes. Big T said yes. Hello, Nana Banana. I was in earlier chatting, so if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Angel P, hello, love. Mermaid, yes. Weird, weird week. Weird week. This puts me in a bad mood. Riddler says it's 82 degrees here in Northeast Florida. Package it up. Send it this way. It's sunny here, but it's cold. But I don't have socks on. As long as I don't have to wear socks, I'm good. Screw the socks. But yeah, it's just been a weird week. Weird. Okay, so off topic, because we're here today to talk about little Quentin Simon, his ratchet mother, and what all she's got going on with the state of Georgia. Okay, this morning I put a video. Of course, it's listed under lives because that's how I do it. About a woman in Michigan. Her name is Lynn Kim. All right, weird story. She met this guy online. They've been going back and forth for a while. New Year's Eve, she gets in her van. She goes to the Bronx, New York to see him and basically hadn't been seen since. So I hear about this in my newsfeed. I make a video this morning and I start getting these messages saying she's been found, that she communicated with NYPD. I can't find anything on Google saying she's been found. Her cousin didn't update her Facebook. Anyway, the video is on there. I did put in the description. Supposedly she's been found. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me why this woman would disappear for a month and a half and not have any communication with her 3 children. I hate to go there. Just me said I saw no evidence of it either. So anyway, if you see any confusion with that video, that's the confusion. Because there's one lady that seemed to be a little defensive in the comments about it. And I was like, what? Do you have a dog in this hunt or what? I never know when people get real defensive. If they're just in a fighting mood or they really don't want it talked about. And this could be a case that they just don't want it talked about. Hello, Denise. How are you? Mermaid said, I don't think she was missing. The poster's still up. That's what I was wondering too. Let's welcome For the Children. She's a new YouTube member. Make sure you check the members tab frequently. I try to update it every day, every other day, and we have members lives that are a lot of fun. Speaking of members lives, Slim Hauser, did you get my email? Because you need to check your email so you can claim, hang on, I gotta get my glasses. You can claim your prize from the show. You and Magoo, I believe, won. Kiki said, I'm here for this. I'm here for this too. Freaking Billie. Lie Lazy. These people. I mean, Lie-Lanis is the murderer, okay? Lie-Lanis is the one that killed Quentin. Billie wasn't even in the state. And I still have some people that are like, look, get off of Billie. For the millionth time, Brooks, Billie wasn't even in the state. My issue with Billie, B-I-L-L-I-E, because she lies more than her own daughter. My issue with her, we'll get more into it, is that she was told, I don't think it was hinted to her, she was told that her daughter, amongst other things, is an unfit parent. When you hear words like that, That's not who you choose to leave the children alone with, particularly when you're the one that's legally left in charge of the children. Now, one thing I don't understand is why just Billie was the guardian. Why not Billie and Tommy? If they're married, which from what I understand, they are married, then why would it just be Billie? Several of you have been through this, and it's not just you that was made the guardian or got custody. It was named you and your husband, or you and your wife. A good friend of mine, she's raising her grandkids right now. Her and her husband are both the guardians. It's not just her. So I have a question about that. Why is it only Billie that was the guardian? Why wasn't it Billie and Tommy? I don't understand that. Because, mind you, I believe he was in North Carolina when Quentin was struck over and over again with an object leading to his death. But I'm just kind of wondering, was he not aware of this situation? Kiki's bringing it. She said, if I was him, I'd be saying, peace out. Peace out, you bunch of crazies. I don't need this. I've always wanted to be on the news. I've always wanted to be famous a little bit, but not like this. I can't show my face when I'm pumping gas. A little tough to be around Savannah, Georgia when your last name is Howell or Simon, for sure. Absolutely crazy. Let's go through the comments. Jenbug says, are they legally married or Facebook married? Came to my attention the other day, they are legally married. So how can, if you're legally married, only one person have custody of the two children? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, every state does it different. How can you say in a union, a legal union, okay, but she's responsible for the two boys, but you don't have to worry about it? How does that make sense? Kiki thinks it's a Facebook marriage too. I tell you what, these people that are Facebook married, they're really messing everything up. Oh, Kiki. Oh, Kiki's really bringing it today. She says, Bill I reminds her of old TikTok. So does Lie-Lanis. For sure. For sure. Let's get to the comments and then we're going to get to the show. A lot of interesting things happened this week. Now, I haven't been able to take my eyes off this situation in Ohio, even though the media wants us to. That has really got me going. I have really been watching that. And of course, I've been riding high from the Super Bowl. So the other day, Christina drops all these bombs in the Facebook group. And I'm like, whoa. District Attorney of Chatham County's been busy. Lady Justice, when she took the wheel, she didn't let go. Because this journey to justice is clicking right along. I mean, as of right now, knock on wood, without a hitch. Let's do the comments and I'll get to that. Dina Lynn said, if people read her Facebook talking about Lie-Lanis, she didn't even have one person on her side from any of this since day one. No friends, no family. That tells a story in itself. This is very true. Then when Billie and Tommy were on the news, Tommy's just basically saying, Lie-Lanis will tell you a lie, even if the truth sounds better. He's like, she just lies all the time. She just lies all the time. Billie's like, sometimes she does real good, but I don't know anymore. Then sometimes she does real bad. I mean, it's crossed my mind. Well, yeah, of course it crossed your mind. Of course it crossed your mind. Because you hightailed it from Illinois down to Georgia and never looked for Quentin. Did anybody see Billie on a search? She got right the hell down to Georgia, though. She knew. She knew Lie-Lanis did something. She had to have. You have the Lindsay Clancy case, and coworkers, friends, neighbors, internet strangers are flooding the court with letters. Lie-Lanis didn't have one person that left her a supportive comment. One thing after another, it was like, where's Quentin? You killed Quentin. Billie should have known better anyway. Because when I saw that, I'm like, who the hell's Billie? Didn't take long to figure out who Billie was. And at first I was like many people still are, I was like, cut Billie a break. Seems to me she made a careless decision that she's going to regret forever. It seems to me that Lie-Lanis did all this. Then when we learned more about Billie and we saw the other nasty things that Billie was doing, there's no breaks to be cut. I still think there's more to this story. More to the story. Tam's everyday chat said Billie needs to be sitting in jail right along with her daughter. If she did what she promised to do with Quentin, protect him, maybe this wouldn't happen. I'm saying that too. I'm saying that too. I do think something will happen with her. I just don't think it's going to be anytime soon, because one of the revelations of the week was that Billie is going to be testifying for the defense, not the prosecution. If she was testifying for the prosecution, I'd be like, oh, here we go. Billie cut a deal. They're not going to charge Billie with neglect. But she's testifying for the defense. We got to talk about that. Tried and True said, when the state of Texas gave me custody of my granddaughter, I was told under no circumstances to allow my daughter or her boyfriend to be alone with my granddaughter. Even when they visit, I never leave the room. Why did Billie not tell CPS that she was leaving town? She filed eviction papers, so they knew Lie-Lanis was there. I'm really curious if she gave them her plan for childcare for when she was going out of town. I don't know. And I don't know if they were alerted about the eviction. I have no idea. When all of this first happened, October 5th, I think our first show was October 6th. We were under the impression that Lie-Lanis lived in the trailer park down the street, not at the big house. Then we found out that she lives in the big house and that her mom filed to have her evicted. Billie said she did that to light a fire under Lie-Lanis, and that she said that she did not say anything about the kids. This is her handwriting, where she says, not looking to be compensated, just want them to move out as quick as possible. Lie-Lanis Simon is my daughter, 22 years old, with her boyfriend and 3 kids. They have damaged my property, and at this point, no one is living in peace. Not looking to be compensated, just want them to move out as quick as possible. I don't believe that she was forthcoming with defacts that Lie-Lanis was in the house, or that at any point Lie-Lanis was allowed one-on-one time with Zane and Quentin. The whole thing is it's absolutely disgusting. Ben said she'll be living in the big house, all right. That's for sure. She going to the state pen. Yes, she is. Fun to Ski said Billie Joe's records were requested by the judge from her CPS case with her own children. I noticed that too. They want all DFACS records for the family. For the family, not just Quentin. Let's get to that real quick. Hang on. This was put in Daily Mail. Yes, it is Daily Fail, but it really actually has the most information. Quentin Simon's grandmother hands over, you guys are going to love this. Remember the last show where we said, "Are you there, God? It's me, Lie-Lanis." We said, I don't see Lie-Lanis sitting down and writing a diary or Lie-Lanis writing a journal, but they want her journals. Is anybody familiar with the case of Diane Downs out of Oregon? This case was in the early 80s. Good thing it was in the early 80s, because if social media was around when Diane Downs did what she did, nobody in that town would have had a moment's peace. It would have been lit up because it took them months to arrest her. This went quick. I know some people don't think so. This went quick, mainly because the agents found Quentin. But Diane Downs had many diaries, and in those diaries, she spoke about her boyfriend Lou and how her boyfriend Lou didn't want children. And of course, that gave them a motive for why she would kill one child and attempt to kill the other two. She is a sick, crazy lady. So's Lie-Lanis. I still don't know Lie-Lanis' motive. They haven't spelled that out yet. I can't wait for this to get further along and further along. They've got to have some idea by now. Okay, so it says Quentin Simon's grandmother hands over 8 notebooks belonging to the child's mother. I hate the word mother when it pertains to Quentin Simon. In my opinion, he never had one. So we'll say child's egg donor as part of evidence in court. Egg donor is charged with toddler's death after he was found dead in the landfill. Lie-Lanis Simon's lawyers, the mother of toddler Quentin Simon, appeared in court on Monday as she prepares to go on trial and face 19 charges, including murder. Simon allegedly used drugs before killing son and dumping his body in the trash. And I know some people are real big on that. They're like, well, she was on drugs. Well, she was on drugs. Well, she didn't kill the baby and she didn't kill Zane. What was the motivation to kill Quentin? If you all remember, if you don't, I can post the link. The babysitter that they had before Diana, his name's Jaden, he said Lie-Lanis was extremely abusive to her boyfriends. Like she would just out of the blue just start wailing on these dudes, hitting them in the head, punching them in the stomach, you name it. You name it. But she didn't do anything to Danny that night. And we know she's capable because she's done it to other men. And I'm sure she did use drugs. I'm sure she did. She also said she went to meet her drug dealer. Anyway, Simon has been jailed since police arrested her in November of 2022 after investigators found son's remains after weeks spent combing through the landfill. And just for a reminder, that is one of the pictures of the search for little Quentin Simon. It absolutely, to this day, gives me nightmares that is where he wound up. She put him in a dumpster. He was compacted all the way to the landfill, compacted again. Agents from Quantico, Virginia, had to go methodically through hazardous trash. All right. It says the grandmother of Quentin Simon, a 20-month, I don't think he has a grandmother either. The grandmother of Quentin Simon, a 20-month-old boy who was found dead in a Georgia landfill last November, appeared in court on Monday to hand over a series of notebooks belonging to the murdered toddler's egg donor, Lie-Lanis Simon. Lie-Lanis is facing 19 charges, including that of murder and other offenses for allegedly using drugs before killing her son and disposing of his body in the trash. The hearing yesterday, which was actually on Monday, I'm a couple of days late. It's been a weird week. The hearing Monday also included a motion for the Department of Family and Children's Services to turn over all records related to the family. Now, it's not just Daily Mail saying all records pertaining to the family. It's also WSAV. I think it's WJCL. They don't just say pertaining to Quentin or pertaining to Quentin and Zane, to the family. Okay, it says, related to the family, which Judge Stokes will now review to determine if any of them are relevant to the case. The 8 notebooks belonging to Simon were handed over after a subpoena was issued last month. They were handed over to the judge by Billie Jo Howell, Quentin's grandmother, and Lie-Lanis' mother. All right. If you can look over here in the corner, the right corner, in this kind of teal colored dress, that's Billie. That's Billie in court handing over the notebooks. All right. Brett Buffington said defense attorneys for Lie-Lanis are asking the court to throw out a subpoena asking Billie Jo Howell to hand over Lie-Lanis' diaries, saying it violates the Fourth Amendment and her expectation of privacy. Didn't work because Billie had to show up with them. I think Billie would have shown up with them regardless. I don't think they would need a subpoena or a warrant. I think she's shitting her britches and she's so afraid of being in trouble. But now some people are like, nah, she's probably torn out pages. It's a wonder she didn't burn them. But they tried to get these diaries, they tried to get these journals not admitted into evidence. But Billie, who is getting 0 compliments from me, she showed up with 8 notebooks. There's little Quentin right there. Poor little guy, breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. Says Lie-Lanis has been incarcerated since the police arrested her on November 21st, when investigators found the remains of her son after spending weeks combing through the landfill's garbage. During the motions hearing, the judge presiding over the case, Tammy Stokes, also ruled that cameras would be allowed in the courtroom during the trial on a case-by-case basis, despite objections from the prosecution. Now, we're going to look at a news clip about this. Hopefully the whole thing is televised. But they're saying case-by-case basis. Prosecutors argued that cameras should be banned altogether due to Quentin's young siblings, while defense attorneys asked for a more lenient ruling. Why would the defense want this aired? Anybody have any idea? Why would the defense want a more lenient ruling? You would think, unless it's for their own publicity, you know how attorneys can be real greasy. Then it says, Lie-Lanis reported her son missing on October 5th when she called 911 to report that little Quentin had disappeared from his indoor playpen at their home just outside of Savannah, Georgia. After the police spent several days searching the home and the surrounding neighborhood, Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley announced that investigators believe the child was dead and named Lie-Lanis as the sole suspect. There's little Quentin again. I love that picture, Quentin. There's Billie. Police and FBI agents focused their investigation on the landfill 2 weeks after the boy was reported missing. And boy, when they did, people were losing their minds. I tell you what, if those guys even walked away to get a drink of water, people were like, why aren't they searching? It was nuts. It was nuts. Elmer, thank you for the super sticker, my friend. Thank you very much. The indictment against Lie-Lanis Simon charges her with murder, concealing a death, and falsely reporting a crime, in addition to 14 separate counts of lying to investigators. According to the indictment, the night before her son's death, Simon met with a drug dealer and used an unspecified drug. The indictment alleges that Quentin died the morning of October 5th after his mother assaulted him with an unknown object, causing him serious bodily injury. Simon then allegedly dumped his body in a trash bin outside a mobile home park about a mile and a half from their home. Simon later told investigators that she had gone there to dispose of just normal household garbage. Barb Murray said, BJ sure went silent. She did, didn't she? She got out of the Chatham County Jail and hasn't said anything, at least on YouTube. There's Billie right there. The court document shows that she told investigators she left her home on the morning of October 5th to meet a friend at a gas station to get Oragel. However, investigators believe that instead of meeting that friend, because she didn't have any friends, we didn't have to investigate too much. When you have to make up a name, oh, I had to meet Misty to get Oragel. She didn't have any friends. We saw her Facebook comments. Not one person stood up for Lie-Lanis. And in these cases, there's always someone that says, no, I don't see it. Or I know she's been having a hard time, but I don't see her doing something like that. Not one. Not one. So Oragel Misty does not exist. She didn't have any friends. Simon repeatedly told investigators the same lies 3 days after Quentin's reported disappearance and again 1 week later. Oh, I skipped this part. Investigators believe that instead of meeting that friend, which there is no friend, she was in fact dumping the 20-month-old boy's body into the garbage dumpster at the Azalea Mobile Home Plaza. On October 31st, Simon changed her story and told investigators that her boyfriend, Daniel Youngkin, was the one who left the home on the morning of Quentin's disappearance. She repeated the same story to investigators on the day she was taken into custody. Basically, anybody she could blame. If Billie had been in the States, she'd have blamed her mother. And there it shows the landfill search again. I still do want to know, Paul and Danny were home. We have 2 cases where there's a murder in the house. Well, in Idaho, you have 4 murders in one house. This case, you have 1 murder. Both are horrific. And the other people in the house didn't hear anything. My only guess is Quentin screaming and crying probably didn't alert Paul and Danny. They were probably used to it. Can you think of any reason why Paul and Danny wouldn't hear anything? Doesn't make any sense to me. Because they're talking about she beat him with an object. She beat him to death. Christina said, I haven't been here all week. WTF? That's the reason it's been a weird week. We haven't had Christina here. We missed you, Christina. Slim says Quentin screaming and crying was the norm. That's the only thing I can think of. That, or when she hit him with the object, it immediately knocked him out. Big difference between a 20-month-old and, of course, what we've been talking about in Idaho for grown people. But yeah, I think the screaming and crying is the norm. And like I said, everything in Chatham County, that DA is not messing around. Everything's clicking right along. Barb says the same thing. Thank you for the sticker, Barb. Thank you for the super sticker. Barb says maybe he didn't scream. Maybe the one blow from Lie-Lanis did it. Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate. When suddenly Quentin wasn't screaming and crying, did you think maybe Paul and Danny were like, man, Quentin's being awfully quiet tonight? Who knows? Who knows? I think it's a lot. Craig G said, is the death penalty on the table? I haven't read anything where they've asked for the death penalty. Christine and I were going back and forth about that the other day. I also don't know in Georgia, and I'm trying to find it, how long they have to ask for the death penalty. I don't know. Anybody, any Georgia people in here or people that know about Georgia law know about how long they have to ask for the death penalty? Do you think that the state will ask for the death penalty? This is what I'm afraid of too. Nope, they're just going to blame the dope and she won't get the death penalty. She'll be in jail for life. Let's look at this clip real quick and then let's talk about Billie set to testify for the defense. For the defense, not the prosecution, not for the state. I had to read that several times. She is set to testify for the defense.
Lie-Lanis Simon, the woman accused of killing her 20-month-old son, appeared in court today. Billie Joel Howell gave 8 notebooks to the court. The judge had previously requested Lie-Lanis Simon's journals and dental records. We also learned Howell did not testify today, but she will later. Lie-Lanis Simon was not in court. Again, Lie-Lanis Simon charged with the murder of her toddler son, Quentin Simon. We told you he vanished in Savannah back on October 5th. FBI agents and local law enforcement found his remains at a Savannah landfill on November 18th.
What could Billie have to lend to the defense to help Lie-Lanis? Talk about what a great mother Lie-Lanis is? That's not going to work. She's on trial for his murder. Or is the defense going to throw Billie under the bus? It's going to be kind of hard to do when Billie was in Illinois when Quentin was murdered, but they're asking for DFACS records for the family. Christina said to cause doubt. Cray Cray said her childhood, maybe. Yep, they're asking for DFACS records for the family. I think it's going to come back to this. It's going to be what the Georgia Department of Human Services said. When they removed custody of Zane from Billie back in October, and they said the reason for it was the maternal grandmother has a permanent guardianship order as to the child Zane, pursuant to documents from the juvenile court of Burke County. The maternal grandmother failed to provide adequate supervision for the child Zane by leaving the child Zane in the home in the care of the mother, a person that the maternal grandmother knew or should have known was unfit to provide proper care while the maternal grandmother traveled out of state. I think they're going to bring that up. I think they're going to throw her under the bus. That's just my guess. I can't imagine what else. What else could she do to help her daughter? If it's Billie getting up there just saying, sometimes she does real good, sometimes she does real bad, I don't know anymore. That's not going to help their client. And they certainly can't put someone on the stand that doesn't help their client. They wouldn't possibly do that. Angel P is gifting memberships. So I don't know. Let's take a poll. What do you think? Well, I can't really take a poll. What do you think? Why would the defense call Billie? They really think Billie's going to get up there and say, I was a terrible mom and that's the reason she did this? Or are they going to get her to tell the bathtub story again? You know, when Billie said she thought that Lie-Lanis was probably cooking dinner and Danny was giving the kids a bath. And while he got Zane out, Quentin went under and drowned. Now, if you remember when Curtis was on the show, he was there the weekend that Quentin disappeared. And they were already drumming up stories. They were already drumming up stories. They were saying that they had proof on their ADT app that the doors were open. Well, next thing you know, the FBI is draining their pool. Then they're inside the house, taping off the windows. A couple days after that, we have a press conference saying we don't think Quentin's alive anymore. Wasn't until December, though, that they hit us with the hard facts that there was no accidental drowning, there was no bathtub, there was no getting out the door because someone went outside to smoke. He was beat to death with an object. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So we talked about this in the Facebook group. I'm really, really curious about these 8 journals. These 8 journals. Hang on. Christina says, does the prosecution have the babysitter for Zane you interviewed on their list? I can't remember his name. Jaden? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen a witness list yet. All I've seen was the news articles saying that Billie was going to be testifying for the defense. I do wonder who the prosecution's going to call. Diana, for sure, because she got the text saying they didn't need her that day. I would think they would bring Jaden up. Probably Paul, Danny. I don't know that they would call Tommy. I mean, Tommy basically told what he knew on WSAV. She just lies all the time. They already know that. Who else do you think they could call? Pyretta says, hope BJ did not rip out a few incriminating pages. Hope not. I hope they are in one piece. One piece. I mean, if it helps at all, here's a letter that Billie wrote. Kind of gives us a little bit of an idea of how stupid Lie-Lanis' journals probably are. I am super curious as to what's in those journals because they wanted them bad. Dear YouTube/Google, I give Cher, whose YouTube handle is, we know her channel, Voices Behind the Walls. She may not want that brought up. She's a family friend, and I give her permission to strike content and creators, whomever is using my family's current tragedy to further harm and harass my family and is spreading false information on my family and current situation and is sharing pictures that have been altered and is feeding into the media frenzy that my family has been thrown into. Your family has not been thrown into it. Lie-Lanis allegedly murdered Quentin. She also lied repeatedly to the investigators. You weren't thrown into this. Don't blame the media. Don't blame Mr. YouTube. Don't blame Mrs. Google. You can blame your Chinese food buffet buddy, Lie-Lanis. She says, there is a current gag order on our family situation, and many creators and channels have been and continue to make matters much worse. Okay, so she wrote this. She had to correct the year, but it says November 4th. Now, that gag order is for her that she violated. Okay? She did. She also spread a lot of misinformation. She flat out lied. She lied repeatedly. After Quentin was found, she spread this around. There it says, Billie Joe. There's a picture from inside the FBI office. This is easy to Google. I believe this is a canine's remains covered with the American flag. It's an FBI dog. She says, my baby, Quentin, sweet monkey do Simon. She gets a reply back, oh, that's him. And she says, yes, it's my baby Quentin. That's a bold-faced lie. Quentin is not in that box. Last time I checked, his remains have not been turned over to the family. Now, I did see a couple of comments, and I don't know where this information's coming from because Billie hasn't been on YouTube. So I don't know if she's talking to people via Messenger or if she's speaking on her Facebook. But they said that Billie has said that Bubba can have the remains. It doesn't work that way. Bubba is the next of kin. Bubba's his daddy. She can't grant the remains to someone else. That is so sick. So even though she's not on YouTube, she's still blurting her nonsense. She'll find a way to get a hold of people. She will. She will find a way to get a hold of people. Really, though, okay, the arraignment for Lie-Lanis is March 23rd. I cannot wait for that. DC said, do we know where the children are now, Brooks? They're still in foster care. Last I heard, which was just at the end of last week, I heard that they were still in foster care. I don't understand that at all. They were put in foster care, I think, October 8th, 9th, or 10th, just a few days after Quentin disappeared. And the police, it didn't take them long to figure out that Lie-Lanis had something to do with it. And it didn't take them long to figure out that they can't be safe with Billie because Billie left Zane and Quentin in Lie-Lanis' care, as the state of Georgia said, knowing that Lie-Lanis is unfit. Okay, so at the hearing that they had in October, didn't like 10 family members show up? Like a grandpa came in from like 4 or 5 hours away. I know one of the grandpas posted that he's gonna, no matter what, he's gonna make sure that Zane, he can't speak for Sky because they all have different dads, that Zane would not be anywhere around the household. So that was in October, November, December, January, 4 months. 4 months. The grandparents can't get custody of their grandkids or the daddies in 4 months. I don't know anything about it. You know what? Let's look at that news clip real quick. Here it is. This is from October when Billie and Lie-Lanis had to go to court about Zane and Sky.
I'm Dawn Baker.
And Mike Seeley.
Look at Lie-Lanis running into court and running back out with that damn rag on her face. She didn't have to have a COVID mask on. She doesn't want people to see her. Mystified. I like this reporter too. I like how she always goes right back to, she's the prime suspect. She's the prime suspect. She doesn't skate around it. Look at that. Look, it even says custody hearing for prime suspect in toddler death. Damn. And she has a mask on. I tell you what.
Didn't have anything to share. Reporting in Chatham County, Shay Schrader, WTOC.
Thank you, Shay. Thank you, Shay. Okay, so this was, I don't have it in front of me. This was like October the 10th, I think, because it was the 12th, don't quote me, that it came out that Billie was not going to get Zane. Billie was not going to get Zane. Didn't say anything about Sky, but Sky went into foster care and she didn't have Sky in the first place. They weren't even going to consider another kinship placement, considering in her home, Lie-Lanis beat Quentin with an object. Of course, that time they didn't know it. So on the 12th, I might have my dates messed up, but on the 12th of October is when it came out. The maternal grandmother has a permanent guardianship order as to the child Zane, pursuant to documents from the juvenile court of Burke County. Hold on, my phone's messing up. The maternal grandmother failed to provide adequate supervision for the child Zane by leaving the child Zane in the home in the care of the mother, a person the maternal grandmother knew or should have known was unfit to provide proper care, while the maternal grandmother traveled out of state. So they had like 10 family members there. They had the grandpa that traveled like 4 hours, Zane's grandpa. I guess Bubba was there. Zane's dad was there. So, I mean, well, Billie and Lie-Lanis, I guess they would count. So there's 5 other people. It's been 4 months. Why are those kids still in foster care? Why can't Danny or Danny's mom, she's got a nice house over in North Carolina. I saw when Brett Buffington was knocking on the door. Why can't she get custody of Sky? I think Zane's grandpa, the one that said, no way, no way, will Zane go back to Billie and Tommy's? No way. I think he lives in Florida. He drove like 4 or 5 hours. It's been 4 months, but I don't know anything about that. I don't know why it would take so long. I really don't. Cray Cray said maybe he's a witness. Which one, Cray Cray? I don't know how long that takes, particularly since they're in other states. One's in Florida, one's in North Carolina, for them to communicate back and forth. I don't know enough about it. Nani said, DFAX here in Georgia takes forever to do anything. By the way, I pinned the wrong link. So there is the link if you want to come up. Actually, we have another lady. I don't see her in here right now. And she is a social worker with Georgia. And when I said something about the courts wanting all the DFAX records, she said, good luck on that. That's going to take forever to get that to them. She's like, even if they're up to date, you don't even know who I mean, you know. Julesy, they better not put a child on the stand as a witness. I've wondered about that too, if Zane might have seen something. Like I said, it's really starting to remind me of the Diane Downs case. Again, it's a good thing there wasn't social media in 1983 because it took the powers that be in that town months to arrest Diane. Months. She was back to delivering mail. She was on the news because she shot herself in the arm to try to look like, the bushy-head stranger shot her too. She's right-handed. She shot herself in her left arm, which you only have a left and a right arm, but you know what I mean. And she was given an interview on the news. And she's like, people say I'm lucky because she survived and she's not permanently disabled like her children. She was like, but I don't feel lucky because I haven't been able to tie my damn shoes in 2 months. But like Julesy said, they better not put a child on the stand as a witness. We haven't seen the witness list yet, but I'm just going to talk about this comment for a second. They put Diane's daughter on the stand to point at her own mother and say she's the one that shot us all. That's a good point, Julesy. I mean, I can't imagine Zane being that occupied while this is going on. How do we know Zane at his age? He's old enough to know. He's old enough to communicate. He's old enough to remember. How do we know that he didn't see her do something? Or not just something. Take the object and beat Quentin with it. How do they know that? They found remains in the landfill unless when they sweeped the house after they drained the pool, they found the object. I don't know, but that's really got me thinking now, Jules, because they're very specific in their paperwork. She beat him to death with an object. I wonder if Zane didn't see it. I don't know. That's really got me thinking. Slim said Zane's probably seen more than just that horrible night. Yep. And like I said, he's old enough. He's old enough to remember. He's old enough to talk. Barb says, when she's talking about Billie, when she said she had 2 murderers in her family and someone said that her son was an accident, I couldn't believe it. Yep, that's her. That's her. Oh, Cray Cray. Cray Cray's got a great question. Did Billie ever get the pool fixed? Billie really thought the FBI was going to show back up, put water in that pool. And I didn't know this about this particular type of pool, but you have to keep some water in it. A quarter of the way, halfway. I might have been told incorrectly. If not, the damn thing can pop up out of the ground. Well, look who came to visit. Fine Art on Fire said, guess whose butt is up early today? I made it. You all can start the party now. We've been partying for about an hour. But it's really weird that they want these, well, they have them now, these journals of dum-dums. We've seen the letter that Billie wrote to Mr. YouTube and Miss Google, so I can just imagine what happened when Are You There, God? It's Me, Lie-Lanis, put pen to paper. Also, the defense wanted that subpoena thrown out. They did not want those journals. And in the Diane Downs case, that's where they got their motive because of all the stuff she wrote down. It's crazy. It is crazy. Kiki, yes. She said, I wonder if Zane had said something once he was in DCS custody, which is maybe some info they received. Think about it. He goes to his foster home. He's not hearing screaming, yelling, drug-induced mom and her new boyfriend anymore. Billie screaming and yelling. He's got some peace and calm. Who knows what information he regurgitated because they're so specific. They found remains in the landfill. We don't know what they found. So I always wondered if it was they found the object, because I would think she would throw the object away when she threw Quentin away. Damn, these people make me so damn sick. Holly said, I can vouch for that too. DFACS in Georgia is terrible, not the caseworkers, but the system. Every state, girlfriend, every state. She said, I'm a teacher. We begged them to take kids before and they didn't. Every state, girlfriend. It is such a terrible system. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it. Basically, every government program is messed up. You have red tape, bureaucracy, taxpayers' dollars, politicians that are lazy and don't want to do any work to change laws that they know they need to change. And look what they're dealing with. Their clients are people that can't manage their own homes. They abuse their children. It's horrible. Horrible. Barb, thank you so much. Barb said Susan Powell's journals were very important as well. Yep. You're exactly right. Now I'm going to get to this about cameras in the courthouse for the trial. Hang on. Because I don't understand. The prosecution wants none because of the siblings. They said because of the young siblings, they don't want any. They don't want it. I don't know if they just. I don't know if they don't want it televised or they don't want it recorded at all. I don't know. They're not really being specific about that. But the defense wants more lenient rules. Why would the defense want any of this out there? I don't know. Let's look at this.
Lie-Lanis Simon case. She is the Chatham County mother charged with killing her own toddler, Quentin Simon. Today, a judge is hearing motions from attorneys regarding evidence in that case. WSAV's Kaylee Fedko was in the courtroom for us. She is joining us now live with more on today's proceedings.
Thanks, Ben. That's right. Quite a few things were hashed out in the courtroom today, including the allowance of cameras and if a record subpoena can be quashed. Judge Tammy Stokes heard from the defense and the state on the camera issue. Both agree cameras should be limited to an extent, with the state calling for a complete ban, citing Quentin Simon's younger siblings' right to privacy and the fact that the Constitution explicitly does not allow cameras in the courtroom. The defense agreeing on all of those points, but calling for a more lenient option and suggesting cameras should be allowed on a case-by-case basis. Judge Stokes ruled that there will be no blanket rule on cameras, and they'll be permitted on a case-by-case basis. The defense also requesting a record subpoena be quashed. Judge Stokes ruling the court will hold the records for now, and there will be a separate hearing for that motion. Now, Billie Jo Howell, who was Quentin Simon's grandmother, presented the records today, but was not asked to testify. Reporting live in Savannah.
Okay, she wasn't asked to testify on Monday, but she will have to testify, or I say she'll have to. I don't really know how that works. She'll be testifying for the defense. Hello, Rowena. What you doing, girlfriend?
Hey, good morning, everybody. I overslept. I think, number one, Billie Jo was the first break in this chain of safety for these children. I think that she needs to pay a penalty of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I think that if Zane did say something, he's not going to be on the stand in a booster seat. He'll be like it'll be like a forensic child psychologist that will talk to him, and it will be played in court.
But now there's really other cases, because the Constitution says you have the right to face your accuser no matter their age. It doesn't say no matter their age. And there's many other cases where children have been put on the stand. There's one very recent where a little girl was AR'd by her stepfather. Her mother knew about it, to the point that her mother went and bought a sewing kit at Target to fix her after that
Oh God.
occurred. The little
Oh
girl
God.
had to get on the stand and point out who did it to her and say what was happening.
Oh
Diane,
God.
her daughter, had to get on the stand and point in open court to her mother and say, my mom is the one that shot us.
Now, but how old were those kids?
One was 7, one was 8.
So by the time we go to trial, Zane would be probably 5, 6, 5.
6, 7, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then they might. I just had visions of. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. But and as far as her Billie Ho's pool, yeah, I had a pool like that, and if you don't keep water in it, you have to have these big vacuums, but the hoses are like flat, and like a company comes and brings them out, and you have to put those behind the liner, and that keeps suction of the line. If not, it's just a big huge mess, and your liner floats away from the walls and stuff. So yeah, I'm sure it is a hot mess, and good.
Well,
So
she had to use a damn water hose in it and put some water in it until she could go get her chemicals. She
well,
thought the FBI was going to come back and do it for her.
oh yeah,
They're not the pool boy. They're not the pool boy.
I think this is going to be a really, really hard case. I hate that they're not going. I think that they should get the testimony of one of the person that worked on that landfill that found partial remains of little sweet baby Quentin. Put him up there, or her.
Oh, I guarantee the searchers will, because they're going to want to. They're going to want to process every nerve they possibly can in yours, and they're going to show pictures of the landfill, the search, and they're going to have to talk to the searcher that came across his remains, the archaeologist that said, "Yep, that's human," and they're testing everything like that.
And I think they're going to bring in one of those metal rakes, Brooks. I mean, that's still I just got chills all over my body. It just, I think they're going to, I think the notebook mess, I think that it's going to be just bull crap. I think it's just going to be, now, and I don't know, because I've listened to so many different things. Is it confirmed that she was in rehab?
No, that's just Billie talking.
Okay. Did she ever go to rehab in her life?
Not that I know of. I mean, if she did, I'd get my money back.
Yeah, for real.
Didn't work.
But if she was ever in any kind of therapy or rehab or anything like that, they would make her, write, things and all that, stuff that's part of it. But yeah, if she's never been, these journals are going to be really interesting. Really interesting. And I don't think she could bust out 8 journals and make it look like it was after the fact. You know what I mean? Like trying to cover her tail. I don't believe that, because they'll have all kinds of experts in there disputing that because of handwriting, ink pen. You can't change that much. If anybody's written in any journals, that when you go back and look, you can tell, I was in a hurry. Your handwriting changes slightly. The pressure you put on the paper, all those things. But
DC said the rehabs make you right all day and all night long.
Yeah.
Well, when on earth would Lie-Lanis have gone to rehab? She's been, I mean, pregnant or getting pregnant for the last how many years?
I don't know. I don't know. I think if she takes, if she takes a bath after Sunday, she can get pregnant,
I mean, she met Bubba at the swim hole, and I mean, within days, she was pregnant.
Yeah. She's not going to have to worry about that anymore, But I do, I from the beginning of this, during the move, I'm telling you, I will not, there is no justice until Billie also has some accountability. If she would have never said, hey, no, I'm going to let Lie-Lanis try to be a good mother. That right there. I wouldn't let her watch a pet rock. Her, Billie, anybody in that family.
I just think she's going to have a very hard time. I know she was talking about getting custody of Zane and Sky. I just think she's going to have a really hard time with that, considering what the state of Georgia put in black and white, not in a rehab journal. They wrote an official document that she cannot be around Zane because she did not provide adequate care to him when she left him with Lie-Lanis, because Lie-Lanis is unfit. She said she knew it, or she should have known it.
Well, if she didn't know it, why does she have custody of them?
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, if that's going to be her defense, well, I'm not saying that she knew that she was going to do this. I don't believe that she did.
No, I don't think that for a minute.
I don't think that, but I do believe that she knew she was unfit, or she would not have had custody.
She knew.
Period. And apparently she pisses on those custody. Oh, sorry. She has no regard for those papers because she was required by law to provide a safe environment. She did not, period. The paperwork, she was going to put her and Danny and the kids out. How are you going to put your own children out? You have custody. She didn't care.
Zane and Quentin. Yeah.
Right. She was going to put them out. So how are you going to put your own children out? I mean, there's so much that she did that she failed. I mean, God did not punish her with 2 murderers. She did that. She raised a dysfunctional, horrific children. Sorry, she did. Maybe one turned out good. I don't know. I question them all. But she failed. She failed. She was the first link that was broken. And by God, if you can go to jail for being the driver of the getaway car, shit, she should be able to go to jail. Her first link was broken. If or not she had said, if she had not said, I want to give her a chance. A chance is supervised. A chance is at leaving them alone. And if somebody brings, and I know they will, I'm telling you, the defense is going to be all over postpartum. I'm telling you. And Lord, if I live closer, I'd drive there. I'm telling you, for this one, I would.
I think the defense attorney is going to be hard on Billie. I really do. Because I had to read it several times. I'm like, hang on. If this says the prosecution, then it's going to be that they offered Billie a deal. We will not charge you for neglect. We will not charge you for doing what DFACS said not to do. We will not pursue any charges on you. We need you to testify to just how crazy Lie-Lanis is around your house. Her drug use, all the stuff. We have you on tape talking to Bubba, confirming she does drugs and people do dumb shit when they're on drugs. That's what she said. You know what it's like when
Mm-hmm.
you're high. She said you do dumb shit. That's what she said. We need you to testify, and we won't pursue anything. But it's not the state. It's the defense. That's why I keep saying, what the hell could she have to offer to help out Lie-Lanis? I don't think it's to help her. I think they're going to rake her over the coals. She doesn't even realize it.
I didn't think about a deal being made. I
Well,
didn't
that's
think
if she's
about that.
testifying for the state, and she's not testifying for
That's
them.
true. That's testifying for defense. Crap, I don't know. I mean,
I
what
just think they're going to throw her under the bus. I don't know.
I don't know. This will be so interesting, and I hope Quentin gets every piece of justice he deserves, every single one. And but I'm gonna hop down, but yeah, I'm still just as livid with Billie Ho as I can be as day
Woohoo!
one.
Lena?
So don't piss me off. But okay, well I'm gonna hop back down in chat. But yeah, so, y'all have a good day, and thank you, Brooks. I'll see you down there.
Love you,
Bye.
Rowena. You're the
Love
best.
you too.
Oh, damn, Wist. Wist said this crime was predestined by Billie Joe's actions. And a lot of people say that. They're like, listen, you had such a toxic environment. This had gone on for years and years and years. The timeline up to when Quentin was murdered was one blow up after another. I do worry about the postpartum. I do worry that they're going to try to use that as a defense. We know how I just don't think it's going to work for this. I just don't think it's going to work. If it wasn't for meeting the drug dealer and her past of violence, well, she'd have to have been treated for it. Fundaski said, don't know if it was the hoodie that gave her the look of being pregnant. That's still, people are still wondering about that. Could you imagine? Because we haven't seen Lie-Lanis in court. Lie-Lanis has not been showing up to court. She doesn't have to. Her attorney can show up for her. Could you just imagine? Well, let's look at what Billie and Tommy said. Like I said, what could Billie have to offer Lie-Lanis' defense?
Left right there. I got here about 3 o'clock yesterday,
and I got here about 3:30 in the morning.
It's been crazy. I mean, we don't know nothing. Whether it's the answers we want to hear or answers we don't want to hear, we just want to know something. My concern is him, and that's all it is. I mean, we concerned with his well-being.
I know everybody worked really hard yesterday, but
And
I want them to keep working hard.
And we appreciate everything that everybody has done, all the people that's come out and searched for him and all that. And he's always smiling. He's a happy kid. I mean, you get some kids but he always had a big smile on his face, and he was always happy.
Let Tommy testify. He's a happy kid. He's always got a smile on his face. He's laughing. He's playing. Look at Billie. She's about to lose her shit standing right there. She's about to lose her shit. And I know it's been mentioned with this case before at the postpartum. Here's the thing. If Lie-Lanis was having, and I'm not a doctor, I think what would blow that out of the water, I think, you could be day one in law school and you'd be like, I got this one. Look, lady, you lied to the investigators 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 times or more, who knows? And you covered up your crime. You put him in the dumpster. You sat there, you grim bitch, and you waited to make sure that the trash man picked up the dumpster, and you went back home and continued lying. Good luck on that one.
Let me ask you, why are you getting emotional?
Because he's not here. He's just a baby. And I want him home. He's just a baby.
That's a really dumb question, by the way. May I ask why you're emotional? Well, because she just drove from Illinois down to Georgia because her grandson's missing. Makes you wonder, though, at this point, because she knows Lie-Lanis well. I wonder how much of an inkling she had if Lie-Lanis did something to Quentin or not. I think she knew hands down she did something. I mean, when you know, you know.
Maybe. Lie-Lanis my daughter. She's 22. She hasn't always done the right things. And sometimes she does really great, and sometimes she doesn't. And I don't know what to think right now. I don't know what to believe because I don't think anybody ever believes that this is going to happen to them.
I believe Billie 100% with this. I know some people might get mad at me and be like, how can you take up for Billie? I don't think for a minute Billie would ever thought that leaving the kids with Lie-Lanis would result in this. I really think Billie has the attitude that no one's going to tell me how to run my household. Screw you, CPS. I'm his custodian in name only. And if I want Lie-Lanis to watch the kids, then they're going to watch the kids. I mean, look at how defiant she is. They drain her pool. She gets on Facebook, public, not just to her friends, for anyone to see. I need help with my pool. This is while she has a missing grandson, but she wants that pool fixed.
I don't know if I can trust her if I don't.
I mean,
I just know I'm hurting, and I want this baby home.
We want answers, and we don't have answers.
Just thank you to everybody that's helped.
Thank you for everybody that's looked for him, and
please don't stop looking.
Yeah, like I said, we want answers. We want to find him. That's the answer we want. Is somebody found him. You know, we're still hoping and praying, and we wish everybody to pray for him. Pray for us.
Yes.
Tommy's like, pray for us. Pray for us. I can't believe Tommy's hanging in there. I really can't. I figured Tommy would be like, look, I don't need any of this. Mystified said, I agree, Brooks, but after the fact, I think she knew deep down, maybe not at first. I think she knew when it's just my opinion. I think when she got the call that they couldn't find him, I think she hightailed it out of Illinois, and I think she knew as she was driving down there. I think she knew. Because she is fit to be tied in this interview. And I think the only reason they gave this interview is because she was so pissed that Diana gave hers. Because a few days later, if you remember, she lights into Lie-Lanis something awful. They're fighting in the backyard. This is with Quentin missing. Quentin went missing on a Wednesday. This is on Friday afternoon. Remember this.
Nearly 48 hours since a Chatham County toddler went missing, and tonight there is no active search that we're aware of right now, but investigators are still working to find Quinton Simon.
Earlier today, more than 75 officers, including the FBI, joined the search near his home in West Chatham County. Our team has been at the home where he was last seen speaking with family members and neighbors. The family told us the boy's mother and her boyfriend were released after hours of questioning by police.
The Chatham County Police cannot comment on who may.
You know what's funny about that? What's funny about after their interrogation? They each go back home. Tommy said, because Brett Buffington tweeted it because he spoke with Tommy. Tommy said, I was surprised they came back home. He thought when they got down there for their interrogation, they'd both be arrested. He told that to Brett Buffington.
They have been interviewed, but tell us they are still treating this as a missing child case, and instead of a broad search, are now focusing their efforts on targeted areas. WSAV's Brian Gallagher has been gathering details all evening and has an update on Quinton's mother and her boyfriend tonight. Brian?
Yeah, that's right, Ben. For all of yesterday and most of today, the whereabouts of Quentin's mother and her boyfriend have been in question. Well, tonight we're learning that the neighbors witnessed the mother and her boyfriend at their house all throughout the day. Now, neighbors claim that the two finished being interrogated by law enforcement very early this morning. And then later that morning, neighbors say grandparents came by. Now, with Quentin missing for nearly 48 hours, tensions were running high in the family. And that's when things started to get heated. Neighbors say they heard several arguments all throughout the day. I was on scene a little after 6 p.m. tonight, where I heard another scuffle break out from across the street.
That's Lie-Lanis saying, "Would you leave me alone? My kid is gone." It's a wonder she didn't say got gone, just gone. He's just gone. Listen to this again. Then you hear a male voice telling him to knock it off. I don't know if that's Tommy or who. I got to listen to that again. Yeah, what are you doing giving me hell, Billie? My kid's gone. Damn, Billie. What are you doing? You and Tommy give me a place to live rent-free. Now you're bothering me. My kid's gone. Oh, I think I heard Billie say Tommy, so it's Tommy breaking it up.
Chatham County Police is asking residents to turn on their Twitter notifications, which is where the latest updates are coming from.
To me, that was one of the most insane things. DC said, "Sorry, I cussed." You're fine. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Where Summer said, "I want to know how Billie got there so fast." Well, it's 12 hours from, I think she was in Effingham, Illinois, to Savannah. So 11, 12 hours. She got the call at 9 a.m. that they couldn't find Quentin, and she got there at 3:30 in the morning. So she actually took her time. Did she stop and take a nap? Did she go get a massage? Did she go to the casino? Big T said, "These people bring out the best in us, don't they?" Exactly. This made me so mad, Fundaski. So the kids got put at Billie's sister's immediately. Because Curtis said when he was there, Lie-Lani, because when he was there for he went by there 2 days. And on that Sunday is when Lie-Lani was visiting the kids. I can't remember if Billie was with her or not, or she said she was. Because when he called the detective and he said that he's like, I was there and Lie-Lani was over at her aunt's house visiting the kids. I think the detective said they were aware of that. They had heard that before or something like that. I'd have to ask Curtis. But anyway, it was like maybe the next day or a couple days after that. That they were put in foster care. Absolutely crazy. I still cannot get over this. Billie going down the street to have it out with Diana. For some reason, that didn't shock me that much. But this display in the backyard. Wild hair, where is Curtis? I figured we would hear from him again. He was on I think he was on the show a couple of days after Lie-Lani was arrested. So, I don't know. All I know is this case makes me so damn mad. I'm just so happy, which there's not anything in this case to be happy about, to be quite honest. There's nothing to be happy about in this case. But that the district attorney's office in Chatham County, it's clicking right along. And that, you know, the news is being so transparent. Like when the defense said, we want that subpoena thrown out for the records. They were like, no, not the records. I'm sorry, the journals. Nope, we want the journals. Then we have the whole debacle with the dental records. Because, you know, she said she went and met her drug dealer. I don't think Aspen Dental would give Lie-Lanis a bunch of opioids, but I don't know. She has no excuse in my book anyway. She has no excuse in my book. None. Tamara, this exactly. Thank you and your team again. Yep. Chief Jeff Hadley. They did an awesome job. They really did. And they were going through hell. Big T said, I can hear Brooks with the journals. Man, I'd love to have those journals. I tell you, when Billie found out there was a subpoena for the journals, I have a feeling she read every damn word. Every stinking word. She better pray that there isn't one word marked out. They could still find it. Not one page missing. Nothing like that. Those journals better be 100% intact because the state of Georgia wants them. You bet. Britt said it perfectly. No effing excuse. Nope. You're not socking this up to being a young mom, having a bad mom, being on drugs. Doesn't work that way. Sorry. Maybe in your Facebook groups, but nope. Not in the court of law. Too bad. Well, guys, that's all I've got. So we are pretty much up to date on the case of Quentin Simon. I can't believe so much went on this week. And like I said, the arraignment is March 23rd. March 23rd. And I'm just going to take a guess that Lie-Lanis will plead not guilty. That's what criminals do. By law, they can plead not guilty, hoping to get a lighter sentence. I mean, she's got like 19 felonies against her. She tampered with a corpse. She beat him with an object. Phew. I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine. They make me sick. Bella said, you don't get to blame being stressed or whatever on why you killed your baby. No, you don't. Drugs, dental problems, bad mom, getting evicted, ordered to pay child support to her mother by the state of Georgia. Yet Billie says this was just a civil agreement between me and Lie-Lanis. DFAX wasn't involved. DFAX is the one that said to pay you. She was supposed to pay, was it like $150 a month? $150 a month for both Zane and Quentin? Horrible. Horrible. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. I think we're going to have a show tomorrow. I want to talk about what's going on in Ohio with that mushroom cloud over Palestine, Ohio. I don't know if we're going to do that as a members live or if we're going to do it in our regular living room. I haven't decided yet. And I think on Sunday, we're going to revisit Lindsay Clancy. Some more things have come out in that case, too. It's one thing after another. But you guys are the best. I appreciate the awesome conversation and how everyone can say their opinion, agree to disagree, and just be the cool people that you are. So I'll see you over in Discord later today, or I'll see you in one of the Facebook groups. If I miss you, I'll see you back on the channel. I hope you have a great rest of your day.